Hey everybody, my name is William Geller. Welcome to another brush up on HCI for Kubernetes. If you missed the announcements on the keynotes or had not get a chance to get to our booth during the show, PKS is now available on VMware Cloud Foundation, which is now available on VxRail. And we've worked together with VMware to produce a consistent operations and infrastructure for enterprise-ready Kubernetes. And I wanted to bring this back again for those who might have missed it. Very quickly, the application journey, a lot of folks are trying to embrace containers and Kubernetes, but despite all of the hubbub that's been going on along this show, a lot of the customers that we've been speaking to, a lot of the other companies, they're still at the layer of just virtualization. About 85% still sit in that area. By 2022, that's when we expect a real huge mix. This is going to swap over. And you're going to see a lot more people in embracing containers of all types, especially Kubernetes. Know how real these numbers are, but they're pretty darn close, and ones that we've been seeing from just speaking to a lot of our a lot of people out there in the field. The thing is, companies want to have Kubernetes. They're not sure how to embrace it, if you will. And developers are going to try to get that Kubernetes dial tone. Whether the IT gives it to them or they find it somewhere else, they're going to get a Kubernetes dial tone. So it's best that IT sort of find a way to give it to them so they can control it, make sure they have all of the resources that are necessary managed properly, which causes often a lot of the problems. And the problems are, as enterprises are trying to develop it, it's getting from the monolith architecture into a cloud-native architecture and dealing with all the security and compliance and also the technical infrastructure. So balancing out security, balancing out the compute, also the networking, everything across the board has been the biggest problem that developers have said they've been reaching challenges with, and IT has been dealing with those challenges to also support them. We've figured out a way to do that by placing VMware PKS together with VCF, which is already integrated in with VxRail, together to take care of all of those issues, basically fix these so developers can get back to doing what they do best, and that's just developing. So for our offer of HCI for Kubernetes, we have two actually. They come from a trusted, mature, and proven platform. It's because we didn't just get into developing solutions for Kubernetes. We've been doing that for a while because we worked together with VMware, we worked together with Pivotal for quite a long time, well over 3 years. And these design tenets that we've been working on have been proven out through something called the Pivotal Ready architecture. We have that reference architecture that allows us to have that collaboration and to develop those tenets, and we've been able to adopt them into VMware PKS, which you now see. So these solutions together provide scalability, gives intrinsic security, also high availability. So whether you want to have a full hybrid cloud platform that supports Kubernetes workloads, or if you want to have just a standalone cloud-native infrastructure that you could just develop, cloud-native applications on, we have a solution for you. So both these solutions, I mentioned VMware PKS on Cloud Foundation, VxRail, this is the integrated enterprise-ready platform. And as I mentioned before, the integration between VMware Cloud Foundation and VxRail goes all the way down to the APIs. So the SDDC Manager actually calls out those APIs within VxRail Manager. So one pane of glass, able to manage the clusters, deploy workloads on top of those, as well as automated lifecycle management. If you're looking for something that's just, you want to build it yourself with a reference architecture guides, you can do that as well. PRA, still out there despite the announcement that VMware is purchasing Pivotal. This is still a viable option, will continue to be for going forward. And it's for customers that are looking for just to get started. It's a separate unit. They don't want to bring this into their data center, but have it be absorbed into infrastructure that already exists. Maybe they have legacy infrastructure they don't want to touch, or they just want to get started small within like a POC and then build up to a high availability. Either way, that's also an option. So we have two different flavors that best for what your needs are. So I'll talk briefly about VMware PKS Cloud on Dell EMC. This is a production-ready Kubernetes platform, and it's built on a Dell Technology Cloud platform. Basically, VCF on VxRail is the foundation for Dell Technologies Cloud. What we give with this, with VMware PKS, is an automated infrastructure deployment. So as soon as you press a button inside VCF, you're able to deploy that Kubernetes supporting infrastructure out, makes all the connections to the resources. This allows developers to get up and running very quickly, as opposed to putting out tickets to IT constantly, waiting for resources to be developed, or even going out into the public cloud, which we don't want to have that too. Single consistent platform for any application. Did you notice up here, we support both the traditional applications and cloud-native applications, same infrastructure. Deploy those workloads anywhere across an infrastructure, core, edge, or cloud. Bring them down, deploy them elsewhere, closer to the data. That allows you to have the flexibility of workload deployment, but also get it closer to the data so you have more data sovereignty, more data security, less of an attack surface for cyber attacks. And of course, I mentioned it's a trusted, mature cloud platform. We've been doing this for years. As you walk through the show for the past couple of days, you probably notice there's a lot of technologies out there. And I won't mention any by name, but they're very new. They're not totally proven. They're still going through some of their bugs, and they're trying to match how companies are trying to embrace it themselves. And they're not sure how they want to embrace Kubernetes containers. But we have done it already. We've been working on this for years, and we're already adopted by some of the largest IT organizations in the world across energy, manufacturing, banking, retail. And Pivotal Ready Architecture being the reference arc, this is just a guide that allows us to put together VxRail infrastructure, vSphere, IaaS on top, and then PCF, the Pivotal Cloud Foundry on top of that. So you could take either the PaaS part of Cloud Foundry or the Pivotal Container Service part, or even both. Just deploy it on top of this stack here, and it's tested, validated every 90 days. Pivotal throws out, updates this. We take it into the lab, test it, validate it, throw out a new guide. So you're sure that if you're using this guide to build this yourself, it's going to work. And it does, and that's one of the one of the marketing slogans that we say for it. It just works. You power it up, everything is together, and you're ready to run. They have different setups for high availability as well as high security and scaling out. So no matter how you want to get started, you have the option to be able to start small and then branch out to something very, very large. If you want something like this, all by yourself within your own lab, and you manage it yourself. But lifecycle management, that's automated for VMware and VxRail, still in there. It's intrinsic. It's going to update at a push of a button because we push those updates out to you from Dell EMC. And Pivotal has their own updates as well through Bosch. So you can always embrace those updates when they become available, and they're always updated to make sure that security and availability are the utmost. So one of the successes I wanted to sort of talk about, you probably heard about the success with Raytheon and the United States Air Force. They were over here at theCUBE. They were also in our theater presentation during the week. These guys, for $2 million, was able to build a system, stand it up in just 90 days. Today, they save the US government, they save us, $1 million a day. This was deployed for the United States Air Force in a refueling, jet refueling center. And because they made this change, they've managed to greatly shrink the amount of time that they were able to develop the apps, update the apps, get them out, and actually just using the applications have made a big, big, big difference. In fact, the United States Air Force never talks about the technology that they use. They don't like to play favorites at all. They could not shut up about this. They were out at a lot of our shows and constantly talk at Spring One, at Dell Tech, at here at VMworld as well. So this is what it actually looks like. Working with Raytheon, they were able to, Pivotal was able to deliver on a deadline they thought was absolutely impossible. Because you know the government, they start a project like this, it's 2, 3, 4 years in, millions of dollars, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. For them, it worked, and it worked very, very quickly. So from 5 weeks, from the time the hardware arrived, these guys already had applications starting to run on PCF. They're running 12 VxRail nodes, it's 3 clusters. That allows for the multi-AZ configuration and high availability. We had an external storage that allowed them to have backup in case any of the applications went down, and also the networking. So they had, because they had such success with this, they're continuing to replicate this all the way across their different refueling places across the world. So I would urge you for additional information. If you have anything on HCI for Kubernetes, certainly go to our website, dellemc.com, Kubernetes/Kubernetes. If you want to learn about Pivotal Ready architecture, again, dellemc.com/PRA. Thank you.